I'm the Mac Phantom, an extra-dimensional being, and this is my review for AEW's New Year's Smash. There was a lot of interviews with Renee Paquette backstage. Perfectly fine. There's a way to move storylines on, and the first match was to do precisely that with MJF and Bryan Danielson. The greatest heel in the business at the moment was sat up in a box, of course, in the audience. He was looking down on Ethan Page and Danielson wrestling. I kind of predicted that Ethan wouldn't win, which is a shame because I do like Ethan Page. And eventually Danielson is going to take on MJF for the world title, and Danielson is probably going to lose. This, however, was a solid match. Renee Paquette is interviewing Wardlow when Samoa Joe interrupts and does a beatdown on Wardlow with a steel pipe to his knee. Adam Page Dark Order concussion update, and good news, Hangman might be back in 2 weeks. Then we have Mox and Claudio versus Top Flight. Excalibur compliments Top Flight, but I felt that Top Flight were just getting fed to the Blackpool Combat Club. It wasn't a squash match by half because Claudio was spinning round Darius while Dante was jumping over his brother. That was an amazing move. It was okay, but it was another match that was predictable. But you can't do a pay-per-view level show every week. Renee interviews best friends Orange Cassidy, Kip, and Penelope Ford. This just kind of sets up for a match on Rampage between Trent and Orange. Then Hook comes down to the ring. He has his match, he looks a bit moody and that sort of stuff, and then he just beats up his opponent, and that's it. Then we have Big Bill coming down to the ring to sort Hook out with Lee Moriarty, but Jungle Boy is there to help out too, and he kind of has a 2x4 and does a hacksaw Jim Duggan type smack to the back of Big Bill. So I take it we're going to see like a tag team match between these four. Renee is very busy because she's interviewing Strickland, and Wheeler Yuta interrupts the interview because, of course, in professional wrestling you can't get through an interview without it being interrupted. And it's gonna be Strickland, Swerve, and Wheeler Yuta on Rampage. I mentioned you couldn't have pay-per-view level matches or a show every week, but this match certainly was. It was Death Triangle versus the Elites for the Trios titles. Again, I have no idea what match we're on. But this started off backstage. They were throwing trash cans at each other, jumping off, all that flippy stuff. It was amazing. Then they went into the crowd. It had it all. It ended in a nail-biting finish because you didn't know whether Kenny Omega with his one-winged angel was going to take the win, or Pac putting on a submission hold to Matt. But Kenny got there first. Willow and Ruby Soho were never going to win against Anna Jay and Ty because previous I'd seen Soho and Willow on a dark match on a YouTube, and that usually kind of says that they're going to lose on TV, which they did. I like Willow Nightingale, she's fantastic, and Ruby Soho is brilliant too. But I understand they can't win because it's going to make Anna and Ty look like jobbers, and you can't have that. You need to mix things up. And it kind of felt already in this episode that I predicted quite a lot of the matches, the outcomes, and I did with this, but you need to keep things fresh, and I didn't mind them losing. I didn't mind Willow. She didn't take the pin. Ruby Soho did with a sneaky chair to the face. Then we're to the main event, and medical staff have advised Wardlow not to go to the ring, but he does it anyway because he's a big tough guy. and it's mainly Matt kind of wrestling, but Wardlow, he goes to the top rope, and it's amazing. A man of that size can just glide through the air. And what we learned earlier in the episode with Joe attacking Wardlow with a steel pipe on his knee, Wardlow is not 100% and he loses the match. He actually gets choked out. But wait for this, Joe just doesn't take the win. He headbutts the ref because he's got a pair of scissors in his hand, and that's dangerous. But he uses those scissors to cut Wardlow's man bun off. And then Darby Allin comes down to the ring to save any further embarrassment. Unlike this episode, there was some good kind of storytelling, and even though I'm depressed that Willow lost, I'm still going to watch Rampage and the next episode of Dynamite.